SpaceX Starfall re-entry. Elon Musk's secret space project just launched. But what is it and how it will change the in-space manufacturing and the future of microgravity production forever? Now, if you have ever seen those viral space debris re-entries lighting up the sky like a slow-motion fireball or a shooting star, you are about to witness the SpaceX Starfall re-entries, redefining the future of everything from life-saving drugs to advanced materials. Because right now, as we speak, something completely wild is happening in the orbits. While the entire world has been staring at the Starship's massive booster catches, SpaceX quietly rolled a brand new top secret spacecraft called Starfall. It does not carry any astronauts, it has no wings, and it looks exactly like a giant 10-foot white hockey puck. But at its core, Starfall is SpaceX's new uncrewed re-entry capsules, designed specifically as a platform for microgravity research and in-space manufacturing. Also, the potential rapid cargo delivery of certain things that you can't manufacture well on Earth. For example, some materials cannot be produced cleanly on Earth because gravity causes them to settle, separate, and deform during the manufacturing process, like manufacturing some pharmaceuticals. Advanced protein crystals, which is largely used for production of drugs and certain semiconductors. But in microgravity, those constraints disappear. Like researchers discovered they could produce higher quality protein crystals in microgravity than on Earth. Microgravity also allows a foundry to blend heavy metals like tungsten with a light metal like aluminum. They can form an alloy. Also, you can suspend bubbles of air inside molten metal. You can make titanium foam, extremely light and very strong. SpaceX has also hinted at potentially replacing the ISS and its successful manufacturing experiments and scaling them to a self-sustainable capacity. But to date, SpaceX has been very tight-lipped on Starfall. No announcement of pricing or commercial timelines or early customers. Researchers and entrepreneurs can leverage to develop their products and innovations to product life on Earth through microgravity research and in-space manufacturing. But as said, Starfall is not designed or intended for human spaceflight. SpaceX has designed Starfall to safely return payloads from LEO. For this, SpaceX used a record-breaking 29-time flown Falcon 9 booster to launch the maiden flights of this vehicle. Their mission? To crack a trillion-dollar industry that no country or company in human history has ever been able to scale. Importing things made in space back down to Earth. In this video, we are breaking down the absolute latest updates. Drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's dive into the project Starfall. So what exactly is SpaceX Starfall? Starfall is a low-profile, flat cylindrical disk. It's roughly 10.2 feet or 3.1 meters wide, but only 2.5 feet, 0.75 meters thick. It tilts the scale of a total dry weight of 2100 kilograms, splitting the vehicle into two primary components: a massive 1400 kg aluminum top plate that houses a payload and control systems, and a heavy 700 kg carbon fiber heat shield wrapped in advanced thermal protection materials. But here's the kicker. It has zero liquid propulsion engines. There are no heavy rocket thrusters to push it back down to Earth. Instead, Starfall relies entirely on its launch vehicle, like a Falcon 9 upper stage or a Starship cargo bay. To give it a physical push, it needs to deorbit. Once it separates, it uses nothing but compressed, non-hazardous nitrogen coal gas thrusters to orient itself, engineered for one specific purpose: massive automated assembly line production. And with that, let's talk about the scariest part of the mission: the atmospheric re-entry. When an object falls from low Earth orbit, it hits the upper atmosphere traveling at roughly 17,500 miles per hour, about 27 times the speed of sound. And at those hypervelocities, the air in front of the vehicle is compressed so violently that it turns into a superheated shroud of plasma. reaching the temperatures up to 3000 degree Fahrenheit. Now, normally this plasma wall triggers what engineers call the communication blackout phase, a terrifying 5 to 10 minute window where the plasma completely blocks the radio waves, leaving ground control totally blind. But SpaceX is doing something completely unprecedented on these test flights. Companion FCC filings reveal that SpaceX has mounted integrated Starlink terminals directly onto these prototype Starfall vehicles. Because Starlink satellites orbit above the re-entering capsules, Starfall can stream real-time, high-bandwidth telemetry upward through the weaker wake of the plasma bubble. If this works perfectly during these tests, SpaceX will have an effective cured re-entry blackout problem forever. Once the capsule survives the heat, a single main parachute deploys to slow it down, and just before it splashes down into the ocean, allowing recovery boats to pull the pristine payload capsule straight out of the water. Now, why Starfall matters in space manufacturing? Why is SpaceX investing millions into building a mass producible hockey puck when they have already Dragon capsules? The answer boils down to economics and gravity, or rather, the absence of gravity. There is a massive, booming industry known as in space manufacturing (ISM). When you try to manufacture things like advanced pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, or fiber optic capsules on Earth, gravity causes a physical phenomenon called convection. Liquid mix unevenly, heavy particles settle down to bottom, and structural defects form at the microscopic level. But in microgravity, materials blend perfectly. You can grow flawless protein crystals for cancer treatments, spin fiber optic cables that transmit 100 times more data than Earth made glass, and even 3D printed biological human tissues without it collapsing under its own weight. Independent startups like Varda Space have already proven this model works by returning small capsules from the orbits. But Varda's capsule can only return about 30 kgs of cargo, while SpaceX Starfall can carry 1000 kgs or 2000 pounds, and this is 30 times increase in the capacity per flight. By controlling both the launch vehicle, Falcon 9 and Starship, the return logistic, Starfall, SpaceX is vertically integrating the entire space supply chain. While pharmaceuticals and fiber optics are the commercial drivers, but here is a secondary far more strategic application. Because Starfall can loiter in the vacuum of space indefinitely without losing its structural integrity, a fleet of those capsules could act as orbital supply depots. Imagine the military or disaster relief organizations pre-packaging critical medical supplies or communication gear, specialized equipments into dozens of Starfall units, launching them into the orbit on a single starship and leaving them there parked in the space. The second a crisis hits or a conflict erupts anywhere on the globe, a single deorbit command could drop a metric ton of precise supplies right to the front lines within 90 minutes. No airport needed, no hostile airspace to navigate, and zero infrastructure required on the ground. With the ISS scheduled to retirement by the end of the decade, Starfall represents the true future of commercial space economy, shifting the focus away from just getting to space and onto to what we can bring back to revolutionize life on Earth. But nothing is perfect, right? Re-entries add metals to the stratosphere, aluminum, lithium, and all that. Studies show current satellite re-entries already contribute to 10% of stratospheric aerosols, ozone effects, air glow, and other climate unknown factors. So more research is needed, but Starfall aims for controlled and fewer debris issues with designed burn-up or recovery. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you think SpaceX will completely monopolize the space manufacturing market with Starfall, or will the independent startups find a way to compete? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you found this video valuable. Share it with your friends, and I will catch you in the next video.